Hey guys, welcome to Ring Steel TV. Today I have a challenge for you. $500, 1,000 yard Steel Elk challenge. Stay tuned. So guys, I wanted to talk a little bit about where this challenge came from. I was at work and some guys were talking about long distance elk shots. And on YouTube you see shots 1,300 yards, 1,000 yards, 1,200 yards on all type of elk. And one of the guys said, you know what, I'm going to buy a gun and I'm going to do this year. And I thought to myself, you know, that's a tall task. I mean, there's a lot of practice that goes in. The gun needs to be set up for this kind of distance. Do you even know what cartridge you're going to go with and whatnot? But he was bound and determined. And I had actually thought he had forgotten about it until one day he called me and he said, hey Steve, I'd like to come out and shoot at your place. You know, you got a range set up and I got my gun. I want to try it out and get it dialed in and see if we can get an elk. So he brought the gun over and it was a 6.5 Creedmoor, if memory serves me right. Very popular cartridge. Not really a cartridge for a 1,000 yard elk hunt, but a popular cartridge nonetheless. I think it had some kind of cheap 3x9 scope on it that came from a big box store and was actually mounted at the store professionally, mind you, is what I was told. It was professionally mounted to the gun and laser aligned, so it was going to be dead nuts. And I kind of chuckled a little bit and said, hey, you know what, let's shoot it. And he pulls out some factory ammo. He's never shot the gun before. It's brand new. In fact, come to find out, he hadn't even cleaned the gun. And he pulls out some just factory ammo, and he starts taking shots at 100 yards, and he's really impressed. It's shooting, I don't know, 1.5 inches, maybe close to 2-inch groups at 100 yards, and he's pretty pleased. And I thought, you know, this is not going to end well if you try and go shoot an elk. So we talked for a little bit, and we started to extend our ranges a little bit, and at about 400 yards, everything fell apart. He couldn't hit the target. He couldn't see the target a lot because the scope just wasn't adequate to get out to that distance. And I said, you know what? I'm going to put a video series together on what it actually takes to get to 1,000 yards on an elk or any North American game. And so that's what this series is about. This is how the series came about. So guys, I also wanted to discuss about what this video is not. It's not a discussion about ethics, whether or not a person should take 1,000 yard shot on any game animal, whether that's fair chase or not. You know, this is about shooting steel. This whole channel is about shooting steel. And if a guy were going to take a shot at 1,000 yards on an elk, what would he need to do? How would he select his bullets? And how would he validate and test that he's actually capable of doing it? That's what this video is about. So I don't want to get into debates about ethics. I just want to shoot a gun and have a good time on some steel. Hey guys, let's talk a little bit about the challenge and kind of the guidelines that I've set up for myself to do this challenge. First of all, our all-in budget. My all-in budget has to be $500 or less, and this is all in. This includes the scope, the gun, the rings, any attachments that are attached to the gun. I am not including ammo in this. I don't feel that that's an attachment to the gun, and it's something you're going to have to shoot a lot anyway at 1,000 yards to get your gun dialed in, so the ammunition is not included in this cost. Second of all, I'm setting up that we need to hit an 18-inch target at 1,000 yards, and we need to hit it 3 times, no misses. And this is just to simulate a follow-up shot on an elk. If you got a bad shot off and you needed to do a follow-up shot, that's what this piece is for. It's also to let us know that the gun is dialed in and you know what you're doing and you just haven't winged a shot into the target. Lastly, the bullet needs to be traveling at least 1,000 foot-pounds when it reaches 1,000 yards. A lot of people feel that that is the minimum requirement to be able to take big game. We all know it's all about shot placement at the end of the day, but I want to make sure that we have some kind of number in there that allows us to select a bullet that should be capable of getting to 1,000 yards and taking a deer down cleanly. Lastly, with the manufacturer recommends minimum feet per second for bullet expansion, you should figure out what that is. I would say if you don't know what that is, it should be 1,800 feet per second. But many manufacturers, if you call them, they'll tell you what the minimum velocity is in order for a bullet to expand. So be sure to check on that and use those calculations in with your numbers as you're developing your loads and developing your gun. So those are the requirements that I've kind of set up for myself. So guys, let's talk about cartridge selection. You know, that is probably the most important thing in this entire deal. When we go to choose our weapon system, we need to choose the right cartridge that's going to do the job. Part of the requirements that I had on this build is that you're going to have to hit an 18-inch target at 1,000 yards. It has to be traveling at 1,000 foot-pounds when it reaches the target. So I have a list here on the screen of some cartridges. I just did some random cartridge selection. Some of these are obviously just to show what you most likely couldn't use. So I've got a 204 Ruger here. You can see at 1,000 yards, it's only got 95 pounds of energy. 223 here, 201 pounds of energy. 22-250 at 307. 243 Winchester at 540 foot-pounds. A 270, a very popular cartridge at 541 foot-pounds energy at 1,000 yards. 308 Winchester, 615. And here's that 6.5 Creedmoor, only 698 foot-pounds energy at 1,000 yards. I've got a couple more listed here, but we're really interested in 1,000 foot-pounds. So guys, you can see here there's only a couple cartridges that really meet our needs. The 7mm Remington mag and then 300 Win mag. There are a bunch of other cartridges out there, some specialty cartridges that would also work, and some other larger calibers that would work too. I tried to stay with some readily available cartridges in guns that would be at our price point. You're not going to find factory guns in the $200 to $300 price range that have 300 PRC or some of those other cartridges. So anyway, that's what we've got here, and we'll talk more about our selection in the next episode. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed episode 1. In episode 2, we're going to jump right into the build. I'm going to bring out the gun that we selected, the cartridge that we selected, and then we're going to start adding our accessories to the weapon, and I'm going to show you everything that I do to get a gun ready for long distance. And we'll also get into load development and what it takes to develop an accurate load into this weapon, and then we'll start taking shots out further and further, and we'll get out to 1,000 yards and do a final test to see, did we actually make our goal with a $500 build and 1,000 yards. So guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. If you loved it, hit this like and subscribe button, and until next time, thanks for watching.